Welcome to Empower Today. Oh, there's a bit of rubbish. Just noticed that. Put that in the bin before the match tonight. Welcome to Empower Today. We're thinking about Jesus over the summer being fully human as well as completely God. That Jesus had all those senses that we have. Jesus could hear like us. My wife cuts my hair and she also plucks my ears. I've got to that age. And she was plucking my ears at the weekend. And she went, well, I've had enough of this. There's too many hairs here. And she went upstairs and got an epilator, which she uses on her legs. And she didn't tell me she was going to do it. She just went, vroom. And it was like, you know that sound at harvest when the tractor goes through and it hacks up all of the barley stalks or whatever they are? Well, it was kind of like that. The agony on my ears. And then it just felt really weird afterwards because my ears were like newborn babies. They were really smooth. And I'm used to having hairs on them that I can just gently sort of tug at. It's quite comforting. And now that it feels like I've got two Kojaks on the side of my head. It hasn't affected my hearing at all. They weren't so clogged with hair that I couldn't hear. Jesus in Mark chapter 10 is walking and the crowds around him clustering in like the hairs in my ears, like the fans on these chairs on a match day. And this guy called Bartimaeus, who was blind, he couldn't see, starts shouting out, "Hey, son of David, have mercy on me." He keeps shouting, and the crowd goes, "Shh, shut up. This is Jesus. He hasn't got time for you. You just mind your own business." And after keep doing it, and what I love is that Bartimaeus doesn't give up. And we should never give up with Jesus either. We might think, oh, he didn't answer me that time, or I'm not good enough, or I don't go to church enough. Just keep talking to Jesus. And so he keeps calling out to Jesus, Bartimaeus does. And, I mean, they even call him blind Bartimaeus. He is defined by his limitation. And Jesus stops, and he says, "Who's that?" And they go, "Oh, it's Bartimaeus." And Jesus says, "Bring him to me." They bring him to him. And what I love then is Jesus says to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus would have known what the problem was. He's being brought by these people. He can't see. And Jesus says to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus heard him calling out. And then he wants to hear what the guy really wants to do for him. And we might think, duh, Jesus, it's so obvious. He wants you to help him see again. But if you're like me, sometimes the limitations we have, the addictions we have, the things that drag us back, they actually become part of us. And we don't actually want to change them. Have you ever pulled a muscle in your leg and you think, I won't go and see a physio about it or the doctor, it's a waste of time. And you actually adjust the way you walk to the pain so that actually that becomes how you walk now. And my wife is a physio and she just says, just get it sorted out. I think that's why Jesus says to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" Because he wants to say, do you really want to see again? Because Bartimaeus, if you can see again, it's going to change your life. And Jesus says to us, "What do you want me to do for you?" He says to you, what do you want me to do for you? And have we got the courage to say, "Jesus, I want to see again"? Jesus hears our words, and he hears those deep longings, those urgent fears in our heart as well. Jesus hears.